Hi all, welcome to our new episode. Today we will talk about debt trap. By the way, please watch this video till the end. Like it and share the comments. Those who are watching this video uh, for first time, please subscribe it. Don't forget it. So, what exactly is debt trap?
Yeah. So, see, a debt trap is something like a rat trap. You all might have heard of or seen or used the rat trap. What is that? It's a cage box which keeps food to entice rat to get into it. Okay, once the rat gets into the box, the door closes, the rat is trapped. No escape, no exit. So this is exactly what happens in debt trap too. See, before that we talk about the debt trap of individuals. So that's our topic. We'll just touch base another topic, a related topic, which is debt trap diplomacy. You might have heard of. See, this is about rich countries, cash-rich countries lending money to poor, underdeveloped, and undeveloped countries to fund their infrastructure assets projects. Okay, so but this comes with a lot of unfavorable conditions and one-sided clauses and all. So what happens? These borrowing countries, the lending company countries know that these borrowing countries will default this loan and they will not be able to service or meet the obligation. So they know very well in advance. So what happens is the borrowing countries default on these loans, and either they will take another loan from the same borrower or somebody else, and they will find it more difficult to meet the obligations, and they come to a situation where they have no recourse. They are no, because they also have credit scores, the international level credit agencies, which specify the credit rating for the countries. So they will find it difficult to get another loan even from the same borrower. So the borrower now will come and enforce the clauses, which may include seizing the assets which they have funded, and maybe even uh, claiming the territory for their military presence and so on. Basically, these are for political and economic advantages. This they do, and we have seen this happening in Asian and African countries. Sri Lanka, Kenya are very classic examples of this debt trap diplomacy, and China is accused of a prominent country which follows this debt trap diplomacy. But anyway, this is not our topic. Our topic is the debt trap of individuals like us. See, there are two broader types of loans. One is healthy revenue generating loans, which are mostly secured, meaning you take loans or avail debts to invest in assets, revenue generating assets like properties, land, houses, flats, and similar assets actually. So most of them are, suppose you buy a house or a flat, then what happens? Either you save your rent, or you earn rent by letting out to somebody else. So this is revenue generating. So what happens is, even if you default on this loan, there are two things. One is you earn an income or you save an expense. So that income is available for you to service the loan, meaning repay the loan interest or pay the EMA. Correct? But so that's the peculiarity of revenue generating loans. Or not only that, it is supported by an asset which has value, which may increase in value in most of the cases. So then, in an eventuality, in an emergency situation, even if you don't dig into your emergency fund or dispose of some other assets, you can at least dispose this asset which they have invested this loan in, and repay the money, repay the loan. They are safe. Okay, but when it comes to the revenue generating loan, which is also called poor loans, you are trapped. See, what happens is, these are basic, this type of loans or the borrowings or debts comes through credit cards, personal loans, and the loans coming from given by lending apps these days. These loans are easy, and also, see, nowadays, you go to a shop, in a shop to buy some white goods or TV or electronic gadgets, mobiles, smart watches or anything. You get EMI, and people, you cannot afford to pay the entire amount in one go, tend to buy it because they feel the EMI is a small amount. That EMI you can actually repay, and but that becomes a problem later on. So what happens in this kind of borrowings, it kind of debts, is that um, these loans or the repayments or the EMIs total plus their expenses will be much more than this their income. And another thing is, mostly this is called overspending. People take this kind of sense to build the gap, or the plug the gap between their income and their expenditure, which is more than the income. So what happens, these are all non-revenue generating. They don't save any expenses. They don't generate any income. So what happens, you are adding another expense to your already deficit situation where income is less than your total expenditure. So there is always a chance that the borrower will default on this loan, or they will fail to repay this loan amount and pay the interest or pay the EMI. Correct? So once that happens, there will be pressure from because this being unsecured loans, these lenders will be very pressed. It's a more risky for them. These loans are riskier for them than the secured loan. So they will be after this borrower. They will start following up and then intimidating, harassing, and go to any extent. The lending apps and all will go to their any extent actually to recover their money. So this borrower has no recourse but to either take another loan to repay. Then what happens? You will have another loan actually to pay. To service. Your burden has increased, and then it comes to a situation that you will have to take another loan, to service this first two loans and so on. It becomes a situation where you are trapped, and the borrower will keep taking more loans till the time they can take the loan. In the sense, there will be a situation where they will not get any more loans because of the poor credit scores, because by defaulting their credit score also get affected actually. So this is when you either they will dig into their emergency fund, or they will dispose of some assets which they acquired from their savings, or the asset they inherited from the family and so on. So, or there are a lot of people who have committed suicide when they don't have any other recourse actually. So this is where they get trapped into a cage situation where they don't see any exit, they don't see any escape from that. If they don't actually find some ways to get out of that.
Okay. What are the reasons for somebody getting debt trap?
Yeah. So as we said, basically, there are two reasons. One is you spend more than your income. Overspend. It's called overspending. You spend more than that. So then, when there is a gap between your income and spending, you resort to loans. Okay. And then why that overspending happens is because you spend, because these loans are the unsecured loans, debts like through credit cards, EMIs, and lending up credits are freely available these days without much documentation, without much credit checks and all so on. But once you get it, I know, like we said about the 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 rat trap. So this borrowers, these lenders entice the customer, the borrower, to the trap, saying, making it very easy for them to get the loan, and get them into this trap actually. So, and why it happens is because overspending. Overspending happens because you spend not on assets or revenue generating assets, but on uh, expenses which doesn't create any value, any asset which you can use, which can generate revenue, which will appreciate in future, right? So these are mostly because of some emotional reasons, you resort to that kind of expenses, and for multiple reasons, keeping the Joneses and so on. So see, this is something which we will have to control. We have to have a budget so that how much you can spend, how much you can invest, how much you can take loan, because you need income to repay the loan amount also, or repay the EMI also. So maybe in productive or the revenue generating loans, as we said, see, if you buying a house, then you are saving the rent amount. Okay, so that adds as an income. That's to your income. Or you let it out to somebody, then you earn a rent. So you earn a rent which you can actually use to repay the amount. But that is not the case here in these unsecured loans. Like the debts like credit cards, personal loans, and this lending up loans and all sort of things.
How can somebody come out this trap?
Yeah, so this is, first of all, getting into this trap and coming out is the second game. The first thing is to ensure that you don't get into the trap. So for that, what has to happen, what you should do is actually you should know your income and you should know your expenses. You should categorize your expenses into non-necessary, semi-necessary, very necessary expenses. So you should reduce or eliminate unnecessary expenses, and cut down semi necessary expenses, and then try to increase your income so that you can use this, you can actually meet your expenses. Okay, and another one is to use some of your, dig into your emergency funds or some assets you have settle this scores, especially the loans which are big ticket, meaning the big amount loans, and the big expensive loans, which are the highest interest rate bearing loans first, so that you will have smaller amounts of less expensive loans to handle. Now another thing is, talk to your lender lender or lenders to get a single loan, or can consolidate this loan into one by settling the other loans, so that you will have only one single loan to manage, which will be a bit more easy than that. Okay, and yeah, these are the options. So one is actually to ensure that you don't get into the trap, and then if you get into the trap, then you have to tighten your belt, tighten your budget, and reduce your expenses. Try to increase your income, and talk to the lenders to help them out, by through consolidations and so on. And we have to ensure that see, for example, the credit cards, pay at least the minimum, or pay whatever you have spent and all sort of things. So this is how you should actually handle the situation, or the red trap situation.
Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. We will come soon with another video.
Thank you. Please don't forget to subscribe our video. Thank you.